I woke up one time, just felt something on my butt cheek. People solo camping, adventure touring, you know, just weekend warriors, all the above, people die. And I want to know what you do at your campsite, because I have 4 things that I do before I set up camp that ensure, insofar as I understand that dynamic, that I do not die. Trying to figure my stuff out here. Yeah, joke's on me, I'm still in Dallas. I get it. Test. I am still in the city. Yes. It is not my place. I am a country boy, a woodsman, a man of the sticks. I am here in Dallas for the opportunity of seeing people I love and working on the bikes with the family. But it is time to get to the sticks. There's a book, one of them that I just love the most, and as you know, adventure touring, and I think I just did some video on Moto Church about that, where you can only take so much. This is one that I would take with me, and I do take with me, and it's a book called Survive by Les Stroud, and it's a little commercialized, that whole deal, you know, the whole reality show I Survive thing. I think we all get an idea of when something's legit, and I believe his stuff, it was the closest as it gets or ever got. So about this dying and camping thing, it seems silly, but a lot of people die camping, and I want to know what you do to keep from it. And when you hear mine, you're going to understand what I mean. As long as I've done this, and not only that, 16 years of adventure touring plus 18 years before that of extreme outdoor survival stuff, mountaineering, rock climbing, orienteering, going to crazy places. There's all kind of circumstances I've been faced with that I've learned to deal with and had to figure it out on my own. But now we have the internet, so we have the opportunity to share them. That's kind of what I want eventually this channel to be about, is just data, because not dying is kind of a big deal when it comes to life. So what you got? What do you have? Leave it in the comments. Let us know what you do. And here are mine. I want a man who's in it no more. Talk about killing a man. We're close though. So my 4 things that I want to share, the sleep time killers. Number 1 of my, we're calling them the 4 W's, and I believe, actually I believe I got it from that book years ago. I've just always called them the 4 W's. Number 1, water. Not water like you forgot to bring some or need some or whatever. I'm talking about you getting to camp and setting your stuff up somewhere where you did not realize that water may flow through there, because that kills you potentially in 2 ways. Number 1, worst case scenario, out west it can rain 300, 400, 500 miles away and torrential downpour, and it'd be a starry night where you are, and that all that water causes these astounding flash floods. Just look it up, just Google it, it'll blow your mind if you've never seen it. Bone dry lake beds, people are camped in them occasionally, and because it's really soft, the surface is just silty, wonderful silty sand. But Bubba, when the flood comes down that dry bed, by the time it gets to everywhere it's going, it's got a wall, you know, 10, 12 feet high of just millions of pounds of gnarled debris moving at 30 miles an hour, and you just can't even fathom the devastation it would cause a group of campers in tents, you know. So that is 1. Number 2 is a lot more subtle. When you go to a camp and you look around at where all the water has been coming down off the mountains or off the little hill or whatever is near you, you'll notice flow patterns in the debris on the ground, the foliage, the detritus, the stuff that falls off the trees. You'll see that there are indications of where water flows, and just pay attention to that, because you don't want to get in the middle of the night, have water come down. If it does sprinkle a little bit, we'll have water come down that gets over your tent tub or whatever. If you don't sleep in a tent, just gets all over your stuff, and then you lose a night of sleep. And if you're doing some pretty heavy adventuring, you need your sleep. That's how you stay safe. So by your strength and your wits. So pay attention to that. That's W number 1. W number 2. Wind. As silly as it sounds. You know, you get on your motorcycle and you go out for a ride, and in your driveway you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man, or pretty warm, I got this. And you get about 5 minutes into it or 2 miles down the road, you're like, oh crap, that was stupid. Well, it's the same way camping. You know, like if it's already cold and you're pushing it with your gear, and you get subjected to a 30-40 mile an hour wind, that can be the difference between life and death, and definitely can be the difference between getting a night's sleep, thus then again, you know, risking your wits and strength for the next day and riding. And if nothing else, you don't die, it just wastes the day, you know, and you spend a crappy night. Lord of mercy, I hope it's the right road. I don't know where I'm going. I don't mind that though. Alright, so that is number 2. If you have any experiences of either of those, share them. Hopefully this isn't getting too loud. When you are in that position where you are trying to determine whether or not the wind is going to get you, it's pretty simple. You just you pay attention to the prevalent current wind, and if you have access to the internet, you can look at the weather pattern, see how the wind's going to change, and you just kind of have to triangulate the circumstances to determine whether or not that you are in an area where wind will be blocked no matter what. Numero 3. Tres W, where you are camping. Rest assured, they know that you're out there and they are checking you out, and it can be bugs, snakes, whatever it is. And if you go to your tent and you open it up, if you are a tent camper, that is, if you go to your tent and you open it up, they're there. They're already, they've been there. They've been waiting on you to make that mistake. They've been waiting on you to open up the floodgates of joy. And they're going to get in there. Not always. Not every time. Hell, rarely even. But they're going to get in there. They're going to get in there. And you're going to do what happened to me. I woke up one time, just felt something on my butt. On my butt cheek, right on the side of my butt cheek. And I reached down. And before I reached down, I paused. I was like, man, I look, and I remembered my flashlight my headlamp was right there. I clicked it, and I looked, and there was a black widow right on my butt, right on the side of my butt cheek. It was a white butt cheek, and then a black and red black widow, you know. And scared the crap out of me, and I brushed him off. And the reason I say I'm lucky I didn't reach down there is because they don't like that, you know. They don't like you to reach down there and be smacking them around. So they'd have let me know just how much they didn't like it. And so that can happen in Wigglies. And the thing is, they get in stuff everywhere. They get in where you throw your jacket down. They get in when you leave your tent open. All these things you don't realize, be it scorpions, snakes, you know, the joy. I will tell you the joy of crawling into a sleeping bag with like a coral snake because you left your tent open for 10 minutes while you got something out of there for somebody and forgot for a minute and ran back and closed it. So you want to be 100% vigilant on that thing, on that idea, you know. Just don't leave it to chance. Now, I do not know where the hell I am. You gotta be kidding me. On the road. I have found dirt in the city. I have no idea where I'm at. I've not seen any sign that tells me I can. It is a little slippery, I will concede. Whoa, it is very slippery. Very slippery. But I do not know what is here. I'm just coming down the road, man. This is cool. If y'all knew where I was, you'd be like, how in the hell did that guy find a dirt road? Be vigilant on your Wigglies. Share a story on your Wigglies. Number 4. Dos Quattros. This is a big one. for me that when it was brought to my attention, my skin crawled and my bones wiggled. When you hear what I'm about to say, you're gonna be like, oh, Mac, that is snapper head. W4 is Widowmakers. Widowmakers. Not a lot of people know what a Widowmaker is. A lot of people do. If you have a Widowmaker story, tell it in the comments as gruesomely as you can, because people need to understand that a tree is a beautiful thing, and it looks so just symbiotically wonderful and well-intending as it wafts and dances in the breeze. But I am here to tell you, when it is no longer wafting in the breeze and it is coming down, it is cold-hearted dead weight that gets to the ground, no matter what it has to come through to get to the ground. And they are heavy, man, like heavy, like you can't even imagine. You know, it'll crush everything that it gets between it and the ground. So and a friend of mine had it happen. Luckily they were awake, they were all had their camp set up and everything, and long story short, this cottonwood came down. The entire tree just spun down. And when I say come down and I say tree, I mean tree. I mean tree. Like, no, tree. The branches were much bigger than 5-gallon buckets. Like, the tree itself was bigger than a 55-gallon drum, and the whole top half of it just came spinning into their camp. And by the grace of God, nobody was hurt or killed. No, hurt badly. They got cut up and scraped and aged, and they parted with some feces, I do believe. But no, everybody was okay. But I'm talking about when a tree like that comes down, when it hits the ground, it will go 4 feet into hard packed, you know, earthy, rocky clay, and come out 6 feet away from that point, 2 feet, with bedrock on the end of it. I mean, I'm talking about unfathomable force from the standard of, you know, what you kind of imagine from something hitting the ground. And in their case, it crushed things in their camp and just didn't crush them, thank God. And so when you set up a tent, you have to look before you set it up and walk paces off. If there are dead trees around, that could be the day that sucker comes down. So you need to look up every branch. You need to pay really close attention to every branch there and every tree there, and walk off the distances and make sure that thing can't fall and hit you, because they do, and it happens so much more than we hear about, because it's just not big news. Check out the book, Survive, Let's Drought Survivor, man. It is definitely worth $10 to save your life. Story Moto out.